Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Okay, and now as promised, now with the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view being tomorrow, like I said in my last video, I figured that I would make another retro pay-per-view review for a pay-per-view that does feature a Hell in a Cell match. And so here I am to make that review, and this is a review for Bad Blood 2004. Yeah. So I figured I would review a Bad Blood event because since it is June, and Bad Blood took place in June, well, at least in 2003 and 2004, I figured I would make a review for one of those shows with it being June, yeah? And I was debating on which one I wanted to review, whether it was 2003 or 2004. And I figured that since I would review Bad Blood 2004, since overall that was like a better show. It was definitely a much better show than 2003. And plus, since I already did review a 2003 pay-per-view with Backlash a couple months ago, I figured I would review a pay-per-view from a different year. So yeah. So I decided on Bad Blood 2004. Yeah. So overall, like I said, this was a much better show than 2003. Yeah. And this was overall, it was a pretty good show. Yeah. I've talked before about like how Raw in 2004 was really like a whole lot better than SmackDown. And yeah, this pay-per-view really is another example of that, because this really does show like just how much Raw had improved since 2003. Because yeah, like I said, this was just a much better show than 2003, and just another example of just like how much Raw had improved by 2004. Yeah, I've said before how 2004 and 2005 really was like Raw's best period of the original brand extension. And yeah, like I said, this show really does reflect that. Yeah, like I said, the show, it was pretty good for the most part. I mean, not everything about the show really was good, but yeah, it did have like 3 really good to great matches on the show. Oh yeah, and due to like it at least like having like 3 matches that really did deliver, I find it very hard to really say this really is not a good show, because yeah, while it's not like a perfect show by any means, it definitely does have its flaws. But yeah, what's good is just really good on the show, and yeah, it just really does have 3 matches on the show that really do stand out. So yeah. So overall, it was a really good show. It's not really just due to the Hell in a Cell match. Like, I am going to talk about the Hell in a Cell on the show, but yeah, this show really, this review really isn't just for the Hell in a Cell match. This is for like the whole show, and yeah, and like I said, this really was overall a pretty good show for the most part. So yeah. All right. So I guess I'll just start jumping into the card on the show. All right. So the first match on the show was the World Tag Team titles on the line. It was La Resistance, and this was like the first pay-per-view with La Resistance, just consisting of Sylvain Grenier and Rob Conway, and they were defending against Edge and Chris Benoit. And yeah, and this was of course still like during the time Chris Benoit was the World Heavyweight Champion. So yeah, on this night, Chris Benoit did have a double duty. Yeah, Chris Benoit also did defend the World Heavyweight title on the show, but yeah, I'll talk about that later. Yeah. So this was the first of 2 matches for Chris Benoit on this night. Yeah, and overall, yeah, this was a pretty solid opener. I mean, there's nothing like that really does stand out from it, but yeah, overall, it was a pretty solid tag team match. Yeah. It really was just kind of like a back and forth tag team match. Like early on, La Resistance was kind of like gaining an early advantage. Yeah, and Edge was legal for like a majority. Well, yeah, Edge was legal for like a good majority of this match. Yeah, I take it. I'm guessing like that's like because Chris Benoit did have another match later on that night. They were trying to give him like some time to like kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of conserve his energy as much as they possibly could. But Chris Benoit, he was put like Chris Benoit like actually did like compete at points in the match. Yeah, eventually Chris Benoit did get tagged in, and then Chris Benoit then started to fight off La Resistance with Edge. Yeah. And then I did like at one point how I think it was Sylvain Grenier. He had Chris Benoit in a corner, and then Edge was like preparing to spear Sylvain Grenier. But yeah, Sylvain Grenier moved out of the way. Hey, and then Edge stopped himself from spearing Chris Benoit. Yeah, and then and towards the end of the match, then as Chris Benoit then like had Sylvain Grenier in a crossface, then and like I did like it how as Benoit had Grenier in the crossface, then as Rob Conway like attempted to break it up, Edge then just speared Rob Conway, but then as Benoit had Grenier in the crossface, then Kane then came out. Kane was Chris Benoit's opponent to defend the World Heavyweight title against on this night. Yeah, Kane then came out, and then Kane then just attacked Chris Benoit on Edge, and then the referee then called for the bell. So yeah, Benoit and Edge ended up winning the match by disqualification. Of course, they didn't win the tag team titles, due to the disqualification finish. But yeah, but then Kane then just laid out Chris Benoit and Edge, and so this just like was more to kind of just build to the World Heavyweight title match Chris Benoit would have with Kane later on in the night. Yeah, and like I said, I'll talk about the Chris Benoit Kane match later on when I get to that match on the show. Yeah. But overall, yeah, this was a pretty solid tag team match. I mean, it wasn't anything like that spectacular, nothing in particular really to stand out from it. But yeah, overall, it was a solid and entertaining opener for the show. So yeah, so I would probably give that match probably around 3 stars. Yeah. Then next up, then we had Chris Jericho versus Tyson Tomko. Gosh, I just kind of found this time kind of like a strange time for like Tyson Tomko, because of course like at the time when Tyson Tomko like first debuted in the WWE, like Christian brought him in like during the feud with Chris Jericho as his problem solver. Yeah, and of course like this also was during the time when Christian kind of like had the romantic relationship with Trish. Yeah. But at the time, like, Trish was out with an injury, so it was kind of weird just seeing, like, Tyson, Tomko, and Trish there without, like, Christian, who was basically the leader of the trio. Yeah, so I just have always kind of, like, found this period for Tyson, Tomko, and Trish kind of odd. Yeah. But yeah, this match, this was a pretty bad match. I mean, yeah, Tyson Tomko he was a pretty bad competitor. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like one of the downsides of this period in the WWE, like from like the 2004, like 2005, and even going to like 2006 and 2007, like the future stars, the like quote unquote future stars who were kind of like guys in the mid card, were kind of like some pretty bad competitors, and both Raw and SmackDown were really guilty of it. Like they had like of course Tyson Tomko during this time. There was like a Snitsky debut later on in the year, and there was also like on SmackDown they had guys like Orlando Jordan and Heidenreich and Kento Suzuki, and yeah, just on Raw and SmackDown they had like some pretty bad new talent during this period. So yeah, that is kind of like one of the downsides of the WWE during this period. Yeah, and this match is kind of like another example of it. I mean, yeah, this was just a pretty bad match. I really don't remember anything from this match, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it was just like a pretty forgettable match, and it was just like very boring and seemed pretty pointless because Chris Jericho's beef was like with Christian. It wasn't with Tomko at the time. So yeah, so I really don't see like why they actually did bother to put this match on pay-per-view. This just seemed like something that really did belong more on just Raw itself than a pay-per-view, yeah. And it really wasn't that long either. The match itself was only about like 6 or 7 minutes long, yeah. And like I said, I really don't remember anything from this match, but yeah, I just remember that they just kind of like went back and forth, and then at the end of this match, as Trish, who was like in Tyson Tomko's corner, of course. Like, Trish got up on the ring apron trying to distract Chris Jericho, but then, yeah, and then Tyson Tomko then attempted to, like, ram into Chris Jericho, but Chris Jericho moved out of the way, and then, Tomko then, knocked Trish off the apron, and then, then Chris Jericho then, like, hit an Enziguri on Tyson Tomko and was able to pin him, so yeah, so Chris Jericho ended up getting the win. But yeah, this really was a pretty bad match, and yeah, it was just, like, pretty pointless, and just, Tyson Tomko just really sucked. So, yeah, so I would probably give that probably around, like, I don't know, 1 1/4. Yeah, and then next up, then we had the Intercontinental Championship on the line. It was Randy Orton defending against Shelton Benjamin. Yeah, originally like this match was like supposed to happen later on the show, but then yeah, Randy Orton then just ended up like cutting a promo, basically just like demanding respect from the fans, and then Shelton Benjamin just came out and then just said that they would just like have the match right now since they were both dressed for it. So yeah, so this match kind of like just like happened just very impromptu. You like this, yeah? And yeah, this was like a really, really good to great match right here. I mean, yeah, of course, like 2004 really was a great year for both Randy Orton and Shelton Benjamin. Of course, like with Randy Orton with like the really great Intercontinental title reign that he was having that year, and just like really building him up into a main event star. Yeah, and also with Shelton Benjamin, of course, like with Shelton Benjamin like coming to Raw in the draft that year, and yeah, Shelton Benjamin really being like built as a single star and a real fan favorite amongst the people. Yeah, and of course, like late in the year, Shelton Benjamin also won the Intercontinental title as well. So yeah, and of course, like both these guys, like they did like really like bring prestige back to the Intercontinental title during this time during their title reigns because as I'm sure like a lot of people will like have noticed like during like the time like from like the last few years, like pretty much ever since 1999, just the Intercontinental title really was losing like a lot of prestige during that time because there were just like so many short reigns for the title and it was just like changing hands like it was nothing. So yeah, WWE really wasn't treating the Intercontinental title with a whole lot of respect for the past few years prior to when like Randy Orton and Shelton Benjamin won the Intercontinental title. And I just like you really like couldn't even keep track of who was the Intercontinental Champion for quite a while. But yeah, but then of course like when Randy Orton won the title at Armageddon 2003, of course, like he really had the great IC title reign that he had like all the way through Vengeance in 2004. Yeah, I mean it was a great reign and it really did help like elevate him to a main eventer and having just like great matches and great feuds and everything, especially like the feud with like Mick Foley. Yeah, yeah, and even and of course, like when Shelton Benjamin won the Intercontinental title, like the same thing happened with him. Just he had really did have a really great IC title reign. Really did hold the title for a very long time. Held it until June of 2005. Yeah. So yeah. So these guys really did really help to bring a lot of prestige. Well, not. But they did help bring prestige back to the Intercontinental title when they were champion. After it really did suffer from all those short reigns for those like few years since 1999. So yeah, yeah. So it was, and yeah, that's another thing that really does make this match kind of interesting is that the two of them actually facing each other. Yeah. But yeah, this match, yeah, like I said, it was a really, really good match. Yeah, and it really is like one of the hidden gems from like this pay per view and even just this era in general. Like just nobody really talks about this match, but yeah, it was like a really, really good match. I mean, it really did go back and forth, work between the two of them. As a Shelton Benjamin really was like starting to gain the upper hand on Randy Orton. Eventually, Ric Flair ended up coming out. Yeah, and then yeah, then of course like Ric Flair was like trying to help Randy Orton by distracting Shelton Benjamin, and then eventually like Ric Flair actually did like get into the ring and tried to go after Shelton Benjamin, but Shelton Benjamin was able to fight off both Randy Orton and Ric Flair. One of the moments I did like in this match is that like Shelton Benjamin actually did get Ric Flair in a figure four lock, and then he even like attempted like an inside cradle on Randy Orton while he still had the figure four on Ric Flair. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool spot right there. Yeah. So yeah, so it did just kind of go like back and forth between the two of them, and then Shelton Benjamin then attempted and like like a crossbody from the top turnbuckle onto Randy Orton, and Randy Orton was able to actually roll through it, and then he was able to actually um, pin Shelton Benjamin by, and he actually did like grab Shelton Benjamin's tights for leverage. So yeah, so Randy Orton then was able to pin Shelton Benjamin and Randy Orton retain the Intercontinental title. So yeah, so a really, really good match right here. Like, if you haven't seen this match before, check it out because yeah, this really is just a very forgotten gem. It really was a really good match. So yeah, so I would give that probably 3 3/4. And then next up, then we had the women's championship on the line in a fatal 4 way. It was Victoria defending against Trish Stratus, Gail Kim, and Lita. And yeah, this match was just kind of there. I mean, yeah, it was like a pretty short match, and it kind of just felt like it was just like used for kind of like filler on the show. Yeah, but it was decent enough. I mean, in for pretty much all this match, all you really just had like each of the divas just like getting into some offense and just like hitting their signature moves and just just each of them really just like getting in their shots. Yeah, it just kind of like was like one diva ended up like getting a shot in, then another one got a shot in, then another one got a shot in. Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. It pretty much just alternated between the four of them throughout the match. Yeah, early on in the match, like this time Tyson Tomko was in Trish's corner, and like early on in the match, like he like tried to like help Trish out, but he ended up getting ejected from it. Yeah, and this match pretty much only lasted like about 5 minutes, and as I said, it was pretty much just like the divas just like alternating, getting in their signature moves. Yeah, and then and when it looked like Lita was gonna win it after Lita hit a DDT on Gail Kim, then Trish Stratus then just ran in and then just rolled up Lita and was able to pin Lita to get the win. So yeah, so Trish became the women's champion. So yeah, so like I said, this match was really just like kind of there. I mean, yeah, yeah, I mean, it was all right. I mean, it really wasn't boring. I mean, yeah, at least they did like give it a good pace with like just having the four divas get is just like getting in all their shots. So yeah, so oh yeah, it was at least a, a well paced match. So yeah, so I would give that probably around 2.5 stars. Yeah, and then next up, then we had Coach versus Eugene, and yeah, of course, like this match really wasn't good. I mean, but yeah, this match really was just like it really was meant for like comedy purposes. Of course, like with Eugene being like just the goofy character and everything. And so yeah, so this match really isn't meant to be taken real seriously. So is it really worth bashing? To be honest, yeah. So yeah, it was pretty much just like a silly, goofy kind of match where you had Eugene just like doing like just a bunch of silly stuff in the match, like you had Eugene kind of like using tactics from like a whole bunch of like different wrestlers in here, like at one point like Eugene like hooked his legs up in the air like a ball or something, yeah. Then Eugene at one point was like on top of Coach, kind of like just riding him like a horse, yeah. Then yeah, Eugene also like used the Junkyard Dog's headbutts, and yeah, just yeah, Eugene was just using tactics from like a whole bunch of other wrestlers, yeah. And yeah, and then Coach also was just like trying to distract Eugene with a bunch of like just weird stuff like stuffed animals and a woman bringing out like a tray of cookies and all that stuff, yeah. Then eventually, Garrison Kane ended up coming out trying to help Coach, yeah, but then yeah, as Coach was attempting to hit Eugene. Eugene dodged the attack, and Coach hit Garrison Kane. And then, yeah, then Eugene then ended up hitting a rock bottom and a people's elbow on Coach, and then Eugene got the win. Yeah, and then then afterwards, then Eugene also then hit a stunner on Garrison Kane, and then hit a stunner on Coach also. So yeah, so yeah, so of course, like it wasn't a good match, but like I said, it really wasn't meant to be taken seriously. So is it really worth bashing? So yeah, so I'm really not going to do that because yeah, I mean, it's really not worth getting angry over this match. All right, so yeah, so I guess I would just probably give that like 1 star. Yeah. Then next up, then we had the World Heavyweight Championship on the line with Chris Benoit defending against Kane. And yeah, this was a great match right here. Yeah, especially like with Chris Benoit, like this being his second match of the night. Yeah, Chris Benoit still pulled out a great performance in this match. This was just such a great match right here. But yeah, I found it just like kind of odd seeing Kane in the World Heavyweight title picture here because yeah, that just seemed like kind of like just out of nowhere because during this time Kane was just kind of like seemed like just being like just having like just a bunch of like mid card feuds or just like feuds that really just like were not like main event worthy feuds. Like I remember like coming off of WrestleMania after like the whole Undertaker storyline, like Kane, like of course, like had the match with Edge at Backlash, and then and of course like hit in the summer that year. Kane also did like have that storyline with like Matt Hardy and Lita, with like Lita being pregnant and everything, and then also like with Matt Hardy and Kane and like feuding to decide who would marry Lita and all that stuff. So yeah, so it just seems like just kind of like out of nowhere seeing like Kane all of a sudden just challenging for the World Heavyweight title out of nowhere. Yeah, just yeah, I just find it kind of odd how just it just seemed to come out of nowhere. Yeah, but yeah, this was a really good to great match. I could even say this was a great match. Yeah, I, yeah, that's what I'm going with. Yeah, this really was a great match right here. This is quite possibly Kane's best one-on-one match in his entire career. It really was just like such a great match, and it really is like one of the best really matches where you have like just I really have like the big monster going up against like just the smaller guy who really is considered an underdog. It really is just like one of the best types of these matches. Yeah, yeah. In the match, like you really did have like a Kane really like just having the upper hand on Chris Benoit for a good chunk of the match. But yeah, Chris Benoit also like was like still battling back. Yeah, there were points in this match where Chris Benoit attempted to go for like the crossface and the sharpshooter on Kane, but Kane was able to fight out of them. Yeah, yeah, and then and then Kane then like of course like he then like attempted like to chokeslam Chris Benoit, and then when he got the chokeslam in on Chris Benoit was actually survived them. Yeah, and then eventually Chris Benoit was able to get the crossface and the sharpshooter on Kane at points of the match. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, this really was just a really good back and forth match with Chris Benoit continuing to battle back, showing at first how Kane like really did seem more powerful than him. Chris Benoit wasn't able to really get in like his signature moves, but eventually he did have enough strength to do them. Yeah, yeah, and then and after Kane like tried to go for like a flying clothesline on Chris Benoit, but Chris Benoit was able to counter it and was able to get the crossface on Kane again, but then Kane was able to fight out of it. And then Chris Benoit then attempted to go for the crossface again on Kane, but then as Kane was like starting to fight it off, then Chris Benoit then just was able to like roll through and like get Kane in a roll-up pin, and then was able to pin Kane, and so then yeah, Chris Benoit was able to get the win. Though, yeah, I'm not exactly sure if like the pin was botched, because as Chris Benoit was rolling up Kane, and like it didn't really seem as if like Kane's shoulders were actually down. This is kind of similar to like what happened in the finish with Kane's match with Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 18, where like his shoulders really weren't like down, but the referee counted him down anyway. Yeah, it did kind of seem like that here. Maybe that's not how it was, because it really was. We didn't really get like a clear view of it, but that's just like the way it seemed, that Kane's shoulders weren't completely down. But yeah, but regardless, yeah, Chris Benoit got the win, and Chris Benoit was able to retain the World Heavyweight title. So yeah, so this was really just like such a great match right here. Like I said, quite possibly the best one-on-one match in Kane's entire career. So yeah, so if you haven't seen this match before, check it out. I mean, it really is like one of the best big man little man matches, especially like when you have like this monster against underdog style fight. Right? Yeah. So yeah, really just a great match right there. So I give that 4 stars. And then we get the main event: Triple H versus Shawn Michaels in a Hell in a Cell match. So yeah, so of course like just yeah, this was just of course still like the Triple H Shawn Michaels feud just is still going on. Yeah, of course like they had been like feuding ever since the summer of 2002. You know, yeah, they were pretty much like approaching 2 years of feuding. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, after everything they've been through, like this seemed to be like the real like culmination of their feud, with them finally going against each other in a Hell in a Cell. This is was like something that I'm sure a lot of people really were just waiting to see for the 2 years that they were feuding for, and it finally did happen, and this feud finally culminated right here. Yeah. So as far as this match goes, this seems to be a match that people are in two camps about. There are people that really do like say this is just a great match, and they do love it. While on the other hand, there are other people that they don't really hate this match or even dislike it. Like, they still do say that it is a really good match, but they just feel that the match is overrated. And to be quite honest, I think I am kind of in that second camp. I mean, yeah, like I said, this match isn't bad at all. Like, this is still like a really, really good, maybe even great match. But just the main problem really with this match was just it's so freaking long. Like, this match is like 47 minutes long. I mean, this has to be like one of the longest one fall to a finish matches ever. Yeah. And just I feel that that's really like this match's main problem. Just with 47 minutes, it really did drag on. I mean, did it really need to be this freaking long? I mean, to be quite honest, I mean, when I watched this match, I was kind of like zoning out at times, just because I mean, it really was not like interesting for like the whole 47 minutes it lasted. I really do feel that this match really did drag on, and I was really zoning out because. Yeah, it just like seemed to be like slow at times, and just it's kind of like similar to the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12. How it really wasn't entertaining for the entire hour, and it did have like slow parts of the match, and that's kind of like the case here too, because there's like just times where it really did seem to drag on, and yeah, I really just don't really think this really needed to be that long. I mean, couldn't this have just been like a 35 minute match? I mean, I guess people can make the argument that like since like this really was the culmination of their feud, it did kind of like make sense for the match to be kind of long, but just they didn't do enough to really like make the match entertaining for the entire time it lasted, and I really do feel that it really did drag on. So yeah, so I really am against like the match being this long. Yeah. Yeah. But with all that said, yeah, this still was like a really, really good to great match. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they still did do like a lot of stuff in the match. I mean, it definitely was like very brutal. There was a lot of weapon use in the match. I mean, there was of course the cell itself used as a weapon, and yeah, there was like steel chairs, steel steps, ladders, tables, and yeah, just yeah, a bunch of weapons used in this match, and yeah, and both guys were just like bleeding like sons of bitches in this match. Yeah, a lot of the weapon spots seemed like pretty brutal. Yeah, and it just really did like go back and forth where you really didn't know really who was gonna win. Yeah, yeah. So I really don't want to like really like just like go through it, through like what did happen like throughout the match, because yeah, like I said, just it really is like such a long match, and plus, like I said, I did zone out at times in the match just because it was going on too long, and I really just like was wanting it to end. So yeah, so I'm not really like gonna like go through like the entire match on. Like everything that did happen from the start to the end. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, it really was like a very brutal match. They did like use like a whole bunch of weapons in the match. Like they did like of course like use the cell as I said, and yeah, there was like I think there was like 3 or 4 chairs that were used in the match. Like they just like kept bringing chairs from under the ring and using them in the match. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah. Then they eventually did bring in the steel stairs to use as a weapon, yeah. And then yeah. Then Triple H then just like nailed Shawn Michaels right in the head with the steel steps. And after that, then it just like busted Shawn Michaels open, and he was just like bleeding like a son of a bitch. And you even saw like Shawn Michaels' blood like all over the steel steps. Yeah. Yeah. And then eventually then Shawn Michaels then nailed Triple H in the head with a steel chair, and that busted Triple H open like a son of a bitch. So yeah. Yeah, so of course like in wrestling, a lot of the times when they're bleeding is really from like blade jobs, but I think that like just them the actual weapons used on them is really what made them bleed in the match, especially with them like just bleeding so badly when they got hit. Yeah. Yeah. Then eventually, Shawn Michaels then brought in a ladder and then was nailing Triple H with the ladder. Yeah. Yeah, and then Shawn Michaels then brought in a table and then just set Triple H on top of the table, and then Shawn Michaels then just climbed the ladder and then just then dropped an elbow on Triple H through the table. Yeah. Yeah, and then both guys just kept kicking out of these pin attempts. Yeah, yeah, and then late in the match, it really did I think this is another reason why the match really shouldn't have been this long, because towards the end of the match, both guys were moving very, very slow. I really do think that they were legitimately getting tired and hurt and everything in the match. So that's another drawback to the match being 47 minutes long. Yeah. But then Triple H then eventually hit a pedigree on Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels survived. And then Shawn Michaels then hit a sweet chin music on Triple H, but Triple H survived. Yeah. Then Shawn Michaels tried to go for it again, but then Triple H then just nailed Shawn Michaels with a low blow, and then pedigreed Shawn Michaels. But then they just were just down and out and just can capitalize. But then when they did get back up, then Triple H then hit another pedigree on Shawn Michaels, and the two of them were just down and out again. But then Triple H just very slowly then was able to cover Shawn Michaels, and then Triple H got the pin, and so then Triple H won the match. So Triple H was victorious in a Hell in a Cell. Again, this was still during the time Triple H was undefeated in the Hell in a Cell matches. Yeah. And even after Triple H got the win, both guys were just still down and out. After Triple H got the win, the pay-per-view still went on for another 5 minutes basically, with just with both guys just laying in the ring, just out. Yeah. Then in Evolution, then all came in to retrieve Triple H from the cell, and then they helped them out, and then after they got Triple H out, just it's for another 2 minutes you just had Shawn Michaels just laying in the ring motionless as the referee tried to revive him. Yeah, but then eventually Shawn Michaels then was able to then get back up and just and then it just ended just with the crowd cheering Shawn Michaels. So and then that's how the pay-per-view then went off the air. So overall, it was a really good, great Hell in a Cell match. But like I said, just the main problem was just how long it was, and it really just was not entertaining for the entire time it lasted. And I really feel that this match only should have been 30, 35 minutes rather than 47 minutes. Like I said, probably one of the longest one fall to a finish matches ever. So I would give that match probably 3 3/4. So overall with the show, I give it probably around a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, it does have 3 really good to great matches with the Intercontinental title match, the World Heavyweight title match, and the Hell in a Cell. So due to it having 3 really great matches, I would definitely say the show is worth checking out. And even if you're not interested in really watching the whole show, I still do recommend checking out those 3 matches. Just have a little extra time on your hands if you're going to watch the Hell in a Cell because of how long it is. So just be sure to do that if you're going to watch the Hell in a Cell. But still I do recommend just the other 2 matches as well. Just if you just want to see just 2 regular length matches. So but still like I said, if you do have the extra time, still do check out the Hell in a Cell match as well. Alright, so I guess that's all I can really say about the show. Alright, so this is my review of Bad Blood 2004. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.